Part 2. When you read Uncle Ezekiel chapter 13, verse 19 in the Septuagint, quote, "The souls of my people are perverted, and they, evil chief chicks, have saved souls alive, and they have dishonored me before my people," meaning we're not the same, "for a handful of barley and for pieces of bread to 1. Slay the souls which should not die, and to 2. Save alive the souls which should not live, while ye speak to a people hearing vain speeches." Example. What do you perceive? Who, me? Well, among other things, since this is talking about the foreign chicks amongst us that other scripture texts are present, and seeing another related scripture tells us, my God's people will see the chief chick's true form. No, not their true intentions, but their true form on that day. When I add all of these together, to me, this can only mean this passage is talking about, and make sure you remember this, women who are in various emergency medical fields, abortion fields, and because it says, quote, "While ye speak to a people hearing vain speeches," to me that can only mean the high education fields as well. And when you utilize everything you know into one thought process, in this case to me, Uncle Ezekiel 13 proves the knowledge of transmitigation of souls. Uncle Micah chapter 3 verse 5 proves we have full-fledged witches amongst us. Our scriptures discoveries that Nebuchadnezzar and Moab, etc., had a practice of extracting semen from their conquer. And our Genesis 6 understanding of the Rephaim using women to propagate the men of old. If we only use those limited understandings together, I perceive the obvious doppelganger/clones upon the earth and those Africans on the South American border are due to practices like this. According to Vice, under "The Complex Ethics of Saving a Dead Person's Sperm," subtitle, "People are retrieving and using sperm from loved ones who died." Is that okay? May 31st, 2019. Cutting to the chase and letting the beat rock. Quote, "The organ donation removal surgery was scheduled for March 1st at 3 p.m. But there was one more pending item. On the morning of the surgery, Monica and Youngmin filed a petition to the Supreme Court of the state of New York. They wanted an additional removal surgery to be performed. They wanted their son's sperm. Listen up. Postmortem sperm retrieval, or PMSR, was first successfully completed in 1980 by Kathy Rothman, a Los Angeles urologist. The procedure is relatively straightforward. For up to 36 hours after a person dies, a urologist can harvest their sperm and send it to a sperm bank where it will be stored and later used at the family's discretion. Although there were reports of PMSR being done in the 80s and 90s, it wasn't until 1999 that a Los Angeles woman gave birth to the first baby conceived as a result of PMSR. The corresponding procedure for retrieving eggs, postmortem oocyte retrieval, is another option for families seeking posthumous reproduction. The PMSR procedure is controversial, with France, Canada, and Germany banning it outright, while in the UK, men need to have provided written consent before their death for PMSR to be considered. In the US, however, there are no national regulations. Listen up for descriptions I told you to remember. Quote, Larry Lipschutz, a professor of urology at Baylor College of Medicine, dislikes the inconsistencies of how cases are decided at different hospitals. Personal quote, "I think there should be policies in place at any given facility who thinks they may be called upon to do this," Lipschutz told Vice. Listen up. "This includes hospitals, academic institutions, and ERs, especially those that regularly see patients with life-threatening conditions." Example, bingo! And when you factor in the rise in medical angels of mercy serial killers, like this headline, quote, 17 serial killer nurses who murdered patients in hospitals, into our reality mix, and couple this with headlines like these, quote, surrogate motherhood thriving in Kyrgyzstan, Kyrgyz stan, despite society's misgivings. August 26, 2018, and ones like this one, surrogacy in Canada has increased 400% in 10 years, and things like this one, locked out of Asia, Americans are turning to Eastern Europe to hire gestational surrogates, July 25th, 2017, and ones like this, quote, despite of increasing demand for gestational surrogacy, its various aspects are controversial, which was in February 26, 2019, and one like this one, quote, as demand for surrogacy soars, more countries are trying to ban it. Help! May 13, 2017. And when we realize they have most of our DNA already, to me this can only mean two things. The first being, the sperm of the most notorious tares who die are being harvested during the cause of death autopsy. Why do this, you ponder? To be used through surrogacy, so that the worst among us may rise once more. And the second thing I perceive this means is for the guys. Fellas, there's a good possibility, an abducted chick being held in the underground lair may very well be having your replacement baby right now. Israel, endure.